All right, hola guys, how's everyone doing? ¿Qué pasó? Thank you for tuning in. This is Hala Pablo, and let's skip all the formalities and get into the reason why you clicked on this video, as I like to do. So this is Bitcoin. We're going to just elaborate a little bit more on the fractals, on the 4-year cycles, and today I have it with more of the Wyckoff events here labeled. With the corresponding fractals from 2022, 2026, the 4-year with the Iron Dome here. I didn't reduce the bars in the older fractal. I kept it so you could just, I've done it so many times, how the story ends. We have this last rejection and the markdown to the 200 weekly simple moving average here, this gray line, okay? So we have it in both, and then I went ahead and I added the cumulative value days destroyed, which is the CVDD, down here, so we could clearly see the divergence in the tops of these cycles. Now the price action above the pocket of the 400 and the 200 simple moving averages. And so there it is. So basically, I've entitled this video when smart money exits, dumb money enters, and vice versa. So, and I think nothing illustrates this as clearly as the divergence we see in the CVDD on the bottom with the actual price action on the top. So we see the rising tops, the successive all-time highs that keep getting higher and higher. And at the same time, we see the divergence of smart money exiting very surreptitiously, exiting their positions over a macro time frame. Basically, what this means is that at the end of the cycle of the all-time high, there's going to be a sell-off, even though the price action has been doing nothing but increasing, rising and rising over the span of about 4 years. All good things eventually come to an end. What goes up must come down, and the same thing with price, and then the fractal repeats itself because of human psychology. It's just the behavior, the market psychology, basically. And so we see this repeating over and over and over again, and we have the confirmation that is evident with the moving averages and the price action in relation to the moving averages. And when we take it down to the forensic level, then we can employ volume weighted average price lines, or VWAPs, to look at the actual creek versus ice barrier and see the price action. But that is for the individual ranges. But today I just want to look at the macro, get a macro perspective of it all, and show you that everything is still on track, fractally speaking. We see these two subcycles. Subcycle A, we'll call this one subcycle A, subcycle B, from 2022. We see both of these tops, or these Wyckoff distributions, with the reaccumulation here in the pocket, reaccumulation culminating in a terminal shakeout, which goes all the way down, touches the lower band on it, and then comes up for the next preliminary supply point. We see that the sign of weakness here went into the actual pocket 4 years ago. This year it was above the 200 simple moving average, but we did have this shakeout area here, and then it went back up to culminate in the buying climax of subcycle B, which I labeled here as buying climax number 2. And then, whereas 4 years ago, we had a double top, a classical double top. This year we had more of an extended, more of a linear Wyckoff distribution range with an upthrust here. Well, this would be the upthrust. So we had the buying climax, automatic response, secondary test, sign of weakness, and so on and so forth. And then we had the actual UTAD, which went up a little bit higher than the buying climax. Hence, this was the second all-time high. The most recent one from 125 Gs, and then down we had the series of LPSYs, or redistribution ranges, marking down. Notice in both how with the LPSYs, it was a failure to re-enter the structure. We see that over and over again. That's something that really is worth kind of training your eyes to see when you're going to read price action and volume. Areas like this is key. This is integral here. You notice how we have this 3 drive. We had a kind of a 3 drive here as well. And then we broke structure, which was here, this area where we broke structure. And then we tried to re-enter after the 3 drive back into the rising wedge, and we were unable to. And we look at the corresponding volume. And then 4 years ago, we had a substantial supply spike in the vertical bar volume, and that brought us down to this regional bottom here, which was really a reaccumulation. This whole range is the reaccumulation that corresponds to this area here. And then we had it's kind of like a triple bottom, and then culminating in the TSO, or the terminal shakeout, and then up. Okay, so like we see these areas more and more coinciding as we scrutinize these fractal ranges more and more. But going back to the key thing is this: the failure to re-enter the structure, which triggered the markdown here, and that would be this area here on this one, where it failed to re-enter this rising wedge kind of structure. It kind of looks like a rising wedge, although this is more like the diamond distribution. We had this is what we traced earlier last year, all the way down to the 400 SMA, whereas like a year ago, or it's like a year and 3 months, I didn't factor in the 400. I wasn't using the guardrails of this, and that's why I thought it would go lower. I've actually thought this was the end of the cycle, but really what it was it was the end of subcycle A, and it went up into subcycle B. But that's because I wasn't using the governance and the guardrails of this trio, of this iron dome trio that I coded just recently to kind of do like a strategy out of it. And so we finally got the dome here. See the domes that came in after subcycle B, buying climax number 2 from subcycle. It's basically a head and shoulders with the UTAD coming down. UTAD, look, you can see here again the failure to re-enter the channel here, and this was a failure here. It was less conspicuous 4 years ago than it is this year, but nonetheless it was a failure to enter. The main thing is we see supply building. We see predominance of supply as we get to the end of subcycle B. Like we did 4 years ago, we're seeing it again this year, an increase of supply as this distribution range plays out, this top plays out, and then finally a failure to re-enter the structure or the range, kind of like we saw here, and consequently down through the iron dome here, down through the iron dome, culminating in the selling climax here. Now this is where we are. This range pertains to us. Now this is the current redistribution range that I contend that we're in. A lot of people are thinking we're going to come up and bust through the iron dome and make another high, and that would constitute a subcycle C. We have A, B, and C. But we've looked at the history of Bitcoin in relation to the iron dome, which is the 400 and the 200 simple moving averages, and in past videos, and we've gone all the way back to 2011 when we could start when the where the 200 weekly ended, or rather began. We don't really have data that goes prior to 2011 for the 200 weekly simple moving average. But since 2011, we've traced every single iron dome, and we've seen that the iron dome so far, Bitcoin versus the iron dome, that is, once Bitcoin retraces through the iron dome here, it does not go back up over it before it touches down at the 200 weekly. We've seen that over and over and over again. We see it here in 2022. And not only did it touch down in 2022, but it went actually beneath it and spent considerable amount of time beneath it. This is back when we went down to $15,000 Bitcoin. Now, of course, this area here is extremely oversold, and so you would have done good to buy down here. So we've got the iron dome. We've crossed under it this year, and yeah, after subcycle subcycle B, we had the UTAD. This corresponds all these Wyckoff events, and then the LPSYs, failure to re-enter, and a retracement through the Iron Dome. And then here we have this. We have a microtrend support line, we have an automatic response, secondary test. And then we have a little bit of upthrust action coming back up to mitigate the automatic rally area. And whereas 4 years ago we had this final UTAD, I've marked it UTAD number 3 because this was number 2, this was number 1, UTAD number 3, or it could be UTAD number 1, but beneath the Iron Dome. That triggered, again, the failure to re-enter structure here. And so that's what we're looking for this year is if we get another upthrust, and it could be like a liquidity run like we had here. We still have predominance of supply. You can clearly see the predominance of supply now. And then furthermore, we look down at the cumulative value days destroyed and we see divergence. We see smart money slowly exiting their positions all the way back here, back in March of 24. But we're just going to count these last two here. Clearly, we have an incline. If we look at it on a macro logarithmic chart, we have an incline. And then if we look down here at the cumulative value days destroyed, we have a decline. So that is divergence. This is smart money exiting, and this is basically dumb money entering. Dumb money entering, where smart money exited, and we know how this played out. And you can even see it from the cumulative value days destroyed. This area here in the pocket corresponds to this area. This area in the pocket, basically this valley between subcycle A and subcycle B, subcycle A, subcycle B, here where we had the terminal shakeout. In both cases, the terminal shakeout, or the TSO, reached the bottom of the pocket but did not go beneath it. So we're seeing a lot of replication. We're seeing a lot of coordination. We're seeing these fractals mimic each other in a very poignant way. And so until we get a clear invalidation, I'm going to keep going off these fractals. And I think this is setting the stage. What we need is a real good catalyst now to bring this down, because we need to effectuate this macro markdown where I believe Bitcoin has a rendezvous with 200 weekly. And what can effectuate that? Well, something globally, something economically, all the upheaval in the world right now, the conflicts in the Middle East, the conflicts in Iran, the whole debacle with ICE and the deportations and Greenland now, and Russia, Ukraine, and Lord knows what else can be stirring on the horizon. There needs to be something that's going to effectuate this sort of sell-off. And I think that the economy right now globally is setting the stage for this grand catalyst to catalyze this sort of movement. I think it's coming. I don't suddenly see Bitcoin busting through the Iron Dome and making an all-time high, not with everything going on in the world and not following the fractals the way it's been playing out. This would be it'll be a total alien kind of thing if that were to happen. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it's highly unlikely. And if I were a betting man, which I'm not, I would definitely bet against something like that. But heck, I've been wrong before, and I could be wrong again. Some of you who've been following this channel know I was wrong about this. This was just me misreading the fractal and not going off the guideline of the 400 and the 200. We're not going to do that. You learn from your mistakes. Now we have the insurance of these guidelines and the assurance that subcycle A and subcycle B, we see it complete now with the confirmation in the cumulative value days destroyed that something like that now most likely will not happen. We see more of the fuller picture here. And so anyway, that's all I've got for now. I just wanted to give a recap and an update on where we are, and just to let you know that everything is happening, everything is playing out, nothing's been taking us by surprise. So if you like this sort of technical analysis, you get anything out of it, if it appeals to you, like, subscribe, check us out on Discord if you'd like to learn, if you'd like to check out some tutorials on how to read fractals. Also, I'm starting to create shorts now and upload shorts, splicing the most poignant, concise moments from these lengthy videos and compiling them in shorts form. So check out the shorts on this channel, and so just for a more concise recap of everything, so you don't have to waddle through 20 minutes of me blabbering and a bunch of uhs and unedited just fluff. So pardon me for that. I'll try to take control of that more and try to truncate some of these videos like I'm doing right now. May God richly bless you in Jesus' name. Thanks again. None of what you've seen or heard is financial advice, but you already knew that. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. Bye-bye.